Okay, I think we have it. Finally. For all of you that have been patiently with us for this whole time, I appreciate it. This is going to be a fun interview no matter what happens because Ben has been such a... Okay, let's see if we can get it now. Yay! Oh, there he is.
Hello.
By the way, I love this interview. I am just so obsessed with it because I'm like,
I think it's going very, very well so far.
You're awesome. Thank you so much. The best part about this is your fans are like, where is he?
I'm very sorry. So I
No.
obviously owe everyone an apology. I have not updated the latest version of Instagram, which was all of 5 minutes old, I think. So
No, it is Instagram trying to prevent us from being able to talk to you, which I'm like so not happy
how
about.
dare they?
I know. First of all, because this series is such a thing, and like, apologies. I think this became a thing right when I was like in the midst of like grad school, and I was like dying in work, and reading for fun was not it. But when I saw this series was coming out, I've kind of gotten a little getting caught up on it. And man, that is a crazy fandom. So talk about you. How did you come about this? Clearly you like fantasy. So I'm guessing this was like you went into this one eyes open, like let's have fun.
I did, and I wasn't. I felt like I'd done so much fantasy before, and I felt like I'd played in the last few years quite a lot of manipulative, untrustworthy type characters, sort of antagonist characters. But I find fantasy so tempting because I love stories of that work in an allegorical way that can have a sort of a subtext which you can explore in such an interesting way. If you're talking about battles between dark versus light on the surface, you can actually express that using magical powers, and you can talk about love and identity and where we all belong and all of those things. You can talk about race and politics and religion, and you can talk about all those things without really talking about all. It's like those things going around like, tell me you're interested in politics without telling me you're interested in politics. All of those, it's kind of like that. That's how fantasy works for me, and I just a big supporter of not talking about something but just showing.
Yeah. No, it's so it's the imagery and just like these avatars that you get of like, this is what this type of people represent, from like the police to the maybe more nefarious oligarchical type people that are pulling the strings behind it, and it's all there. And then the ordinary person who finds out that there's something extraordinary within them. But really quickly, since we sort of, I think everyone on here knows way more than I do, but for those watching that maybe don't have the series down, give us a quick rundown of the series and your character.
So it's called Shadow and Bone, and it's based on a series of books by Leigh Bardugo, a trilogy called Shadow and Bone and a duology called Six of Crows, which has separate characters, but it's all set in the same world. And the Shadow and Bone is more of a chosen one kind of narrative, finding a sun summoner who has the power to summon light. There are other characters who have the power to manipulate the science of water and air and fire, or the blood within your body. And so on that side of things, you have a fantasy story, which is cloaks and horses and swords and bows and arrows and magic. And on the other side of the story, you have the crows, who are more like a sort of mini Ocean's 11, but in a sort of grimy Peaky Blinders world. And they're more interested in sort of heists, and so they have pistols and armored trains and kind of their wits and wiles and knife throwing skills and assassins and things like that. So but it all kind of blends together in this kind of cool kind of Tsar punk is what they call it, which is kind of like a Russian aesthetic but sort of steampunk world. And I think it's pretty cool and interesting and fresh, and so I was just really drawn to it.
And your character is the king of what? Well, I shouldn't say. Yeah, I mean, he's the general.
So my character, the whole country is a war torn place, fighting with the Fjordans, who are sort of the equivalent of the Scandinavians in our world, and the Shuhan in the south, and then you have you know, the Ravkans it's sort of stuck in the center of it. My character is the general of the Second Army, and the Second Army is the army made up of the Grisha, who are the characters who have magical powers. And I'm pretty sure that everyone we're talking to already knows all of this, but
some might not, and we want to make sure we get them ready.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I could just see their comments. So my character is this sort of mysterious, powerful, isolated figure at the top of the hierarchy of this world.
Yeah, and sort of, I guess our avatars through this is Alina, and she's the chosen one. But it's also like, it's a main story, which is told over a series of the books, but it's also a prequel. And what's interesting about this series on other book adaptations that they've done in series forms is this one is telling the prequel story sort of alongside the main story. And so you guys are getting the chance, even though people have read these books, not everybody knows what's going to happen because they're kind of putting them together, which I think is a very interesting thing. So all you folks that know more, you don't know everything.
Yeah, absolutely. That it gives opportunity for some really sort of tasty moments of being able to combine these books, even though they were sort of set in different timelines. So characters who potentially never meet in the books are able to meet in the show, without it kind of affecting and steering the train too far off the track. So there's definitely plenty of, you know, fresh stuff in there for people who know everything about the books, and lots of little Easter eggs as well for people who do, and for people who don't, it's just this sort of very expansive, new, exciting world, which, you know, as actors and creators and costume designers and special effects people, we've all become big fans of, you know. So, you know, I you know, people ask me what the fans of the books can expect, and I say, well, expect a show that's made by fans.
Yeah. I got to toe dip in this when I was able to. Luckily, thank you, Netflix, they showed us the first season, which it will all drop on Friday. And so all of these folks that know so much and are anxiously waiting, you'll all get to like binge through it on Friday. But more importantly, the details and the things that you guys talk about. First of all, you have some outfits. Listen.
Yeah, well, I have one outfit, very
yes, one outfit. Yeah.
Just various levels of cloakage. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, the Wendy Partridge is the costume designer, and she is just a stunning talent. You know, the kefters, which are the coats that the Grisha kind of wear, are talked about so lovingly in the books, and it actually brings to mind, to me anyway, the sort of the way that the kids are sorted into the different houses by the sorting hat in Harry Potter. As if, you know, if you're in Gryffindor, you wear red, Ravenclaw it's green. In our world, based on the different powers that you might have, you are sort of sorted into different orders. So those with the power to summon fire will have flame-colored embroidery on their blue kefters, and those with the power to manipulate blood will have, you know, these blood red kefters. And my character has the power to summon shadow and darkness, so he wears all black always, which I think is always a very, very good move. Anyway,
I mean, not to be this girl, but it's not a bad color for you either, Ben. Let's be honest. you do black well.
If I could only ever wear one thing every day, I do like, you know, wearing different colors. But if I had to choose, I would just wear black jeans and a black t-shirt every day if I had to.
I don't think anybody watching this would be mad about that. What's so great about this show too is because even within like the Grisha, the magic folks, like you have said, they all do different things. But the person who I saw was the woman who can manipulate, like, I guess she's she can manipulate people's faces, like change the way that they look. So
she's a tailor, yes. So,
yeah.
That there's only one of those in our world, the character of Genya, and what was so incredible about her costume, which was originally this sort of cream color, which was the same color the servants wear, because she's sort of under the service of the king and the queen. But they managed to stitch little sewing needles into her embroidery if you look very closely. So it's all these little tiny details which you can look for, which are smattered through the show. I mean, there's so many tiny details that it's able to kind of go back and find, you know, if you're really kind of excited about that stuff. And I think in our showrunner, Eric Heisseros, obviously blended these books together in such an amazing way. And he's our sort of, he's the Nick Fury of our Avengers, basically.
Oh, wow.
That's how
Yeah.
we sort of talk about him. And he, you know, he loves the details. Even when we were talking in our very first meeting about whether I could, you know, be involved in the show, and he was sort of pitching it to me and everything, he was talking about how, you know, in the Crow Club, in the gambling houses, they wouldn't be hearts and spades and diamonds on the cards. They would make up new suits, and they would make up languages and hand movements, and like everything would feel, they, you know, if you're an actor on this set and you pick up a letter, if it's written in Ravkan, it won't be English. It'll look like sort of more a Slavic language written down that's made up. I mean, the detail is just, I love all that stuff. And I know I'm going to be accused of being really geeky here, but I love the details of stuff like that. I really do.
This is an entire week of like shrine to geekdom behind me, so please
Week,
keep going. Yeah, like keep going. I like everything that's like geek and television and film and fantasy and books is all of that. The
Okay,
other
good.
thing too I was going to say is that's the one that I wanted. Like I would want to be her, the Taylor. I would want to be able to like do Instagram filter. If you weren't you and you could like do the shadow, what would be the one power that you would want
so
to take?
Somebody did ask me this before, and I definitely would pick the heart renders. And the heart renders are, you know, some of my personal bodyguard in the show, but they have the ability to manipulate the blood in your body, which I think is so powerful, because they could cause you to, you know, they could use it for, in a powerful way, to cause you to have a heart attack or to cause you to faint or something like that, by speeding up the blood in your body, or they can use it to soothe and calm by slowing your heart rate down, slowing your pulse rate down. You know, they can tell by your heart rate beat if you're lying or not. If you're deceiving. And I think like those kind of things fit more in with like what I would hope my superpower would be in real life, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's like a great therapist. That's like an instant therapist.
Exactly. With the ability to make you faint if it's all getting a bit much.
Yes, I love it. Or like literally just like before something like stressful, like, you know, doing an IG live and be like, you can calm. You can just calm down a little bit.
We're all calm here. We're
all calm here now. No, it's great. And again, Shadow and Bone, I think, is going to be something that is going to be a thing, as I like to go ahead and say, like after Friday, I kind of give it up to you. But did you know going into it? Because as I'm looking at this chat, we have folks from around the globe and they are so rabid. Did you know that it was going to be this going into it? Or was this something you sort of slowly discovered as you got more into the world?
I think I discovered it as I went. That there was an article recently that said that I showed the showrunner a Tumblr or something to say, see, you should cast me, because people have fan casted me, which is obviously not quite true, because I don't know what Tumblr is still, really. So that's obviously not true. And I would never say,
well, they know you.
They know you. Now, whatever. But I did see, you know, some tweets from years ago about people, you know, sort of suggesting that I should look at this character or read these books. And I know that the author had seen those comments. So I said, oh, do you know the author already sort of has associated me with this character at some point? Which I did say to our showrunner. I was like, well, people have been talking about this character for a bit. Apparently, I didn't know anything about it until this week, but they did. And so yeah, it definitely buoys you, because I've played quite a lot of characters that are from literary adaptations. You know, all the way from Narnia through to Dorian Gray, and you know, even autobiographies like Killing Bono, and there's quite a lot of literary adaptations I've done, and you're never quite what people had in their minds, because everyone, you know, imagines things differently when they're reading, and so you're never gonna kind of be everybody's version of that character. But in this instance, it did give me confidence to feel that, you know, there are really some people who had imagined someone like me in this character, so you can kind of go in with that, with feeling like you have some, you know, some support as you go.
You got more than some. And let me just say, no, I am a Tumblr girl. I lived on Tumblr, and I definitely know that you were prevalent.
Does it still exist, Tumblr?
Oh, it does still exist.
Okay.
It's not the same anymore, and it's definitely not, I would say, what it was at the height of it when I was obsessed with it. But yeah, Caspian.
I never had any social media for the longest time, and then I got, is it even social media?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's considered a social network. Yeah.
I got Instagram and Twitter, and then there is a Facebook page, but I don't have people on it or something. I don't know how it works, but I was like, 3 is already too many for me to be able to deal with. Like, way too many. So I basically just do this one.
No, honestly, we're good. Just do Instagram lives with us for everything that you do, because pretty much your entire filmography is the stuff that Rotten Tomatoes was made for, both the certified fresh aspect of it, but also the fandom aspect of it. And so I would be remiss, and I want to let everybody know, I will ask questions. I'm actually going to take it to the cast, to the fans next. So if you have any questions for Ben, I will try to pick the best ones before he has to get out of here. But
I'm good.
Westworld.
Hello, everyone, by the way. I haven't said hello to...
Oh, yeah, no, they're all definitely here for
Sorry,
you.
I've been concentrating on what I'm saying, so that's anything stupid, but
Don't look at the comments. Come on, that's the
I
first rule of the social media. Don't look at the comments. But I want to talk to you about Westworld, because that, in addition to the fact that, you know, Shadow and Bone's written by the guy that did Arrival, he obviously clearly knows how to do dual storylines. But I also feel like with that show, first of all, keeping the secrets. Second of all, just the unraveling of it. That just must have been one of the craziest shows to be a part of, especially that first season when people didn't really know everything that was happening, because I was on Reddit.
It was bonkers. And I felt like I was always the last to know everything as well. Like, absolutely the last. And just to not know what was happening in the next script would drive me absolutely mental, because I love to chart the arcs of characters. I mean, I didn't know why Logan in Westworld was such an asshole until the second season, until they sort of explained the relationship with his dad and stuff. And I seem to have carved a bit of a niche of playing these characters who are slightly, you know, douchey, manipulative, maybe a bit psychotic. And then it's sort of explained that they have this kind of abuse in their past that has made them, or sort of goes some way to explaining why they are the way that they are. And I think that really interests me about playing those kinds of characters. I'm interested in hope and stories of hope, but in stories of hope, you still need antagonists. But I'm interested in, if I am to play the antagonist, where is the hope in that character? Where is the seeds of good in that? But what are the? Let's ask why is always the most interesting question. Not where or how or what, but why are you like this way?
Yeah, that scene with you sort of having the confrontation, and this is like towards the end with your addiction, and everything is there, and it's before your character sort of leaves the series. That is probably one of my favorite moments on television. Like, that whole scene is, I mean, it was so much, because it was so layered. It was finding out so much about your character, but also so much about the Man in Black and just his journey. And yeah, no, what they were able to do with the first season, but then to your point with the second, sort of tying that up was just, it was really incredible. And, you know, we're still obsessed.
Yeah,
I will say this.
And scene with Peter Mullen as well, who came in and was like, to play my dad, is just like so intense and amazing, just instantly. You know, because so much of this stuff is about who your partners are, and to have like Jimmy Simpson and Evan Rachel Wood and, you know, Jeffrey Wright, you know, to be playing opposite those kind of people is just, you know, and with that kind of writing too, you know, I think anyone that has come across me at all ever knows that I'm a big fan of words and scripts and all of that. You know, words are important to me, and so the writing for something is always kind of like paramount for why I choose the things that I do, even though I do love fantasy and sci-fi and that kind of stuff, you know, as genres. You know, for me, it's about what story are you telling underneath that, and what words are you using to do it.
Yeah, and you've gotten some amazing storytellers to help you do this. I mean, with Jonathan and those guys, but also, I mean, this guy's Oscar nominated for writing Arrival. Like, this is going to be, all
of you, anyone who watches Shadow and Bone on Friday, and anyone who enjoys it, it's obviously because of Lee in the books, but it's because of Eric Heisserer, who wrote Arrival and was massively lauded, got loads of awards for it, you know, but if you enjoy it, it's because of him. So say thank you to him on Twitter if you love it.
Well, they're going to say thank you to you too, but way to shout out the creators. I'm going to take it to the fans real quick, but I wanted to give you a bit of news. Did you know
Go on.
we have the score of Shadow and Bone?
What do you mean, the score?
The Rotten Tomatoes score. So the critics have given us your rating.
What, already?
Yeah.
It hasn't come out yet.
Well, that's the way the publicists want to get that score out, especially when it's 93% fresh. This is well on the way to certified fresh, sir. You're like literally just a few reviews away from certified fresh.
How cool is that to find that out whilst on with Rotten Tomatoes? So that's good. That means that people have written nice things about it.
Very nice things about it. You can go check the score at Rotten Tomatoes right now. But yeah, 93%.
That is as far as I would dig with. Actually, to be honest, Rotten Tomatoes fresh things is not something I've had because that actually helps balance out my the big wedding score, which I think is 4 or 7 or something. So that's so
hey.
That'll help balance me out.
I will try to make sure we get you your actual trophy so that we can leave it like in good standing for you.
Cool.
I will make sure that will happen. Just make sure you post a good picture of it, like with your wand. I don't know, y'all don't have wands, but you know what I mean. I want to make sure you get your certified fresh trophy because honestly, it doesn't even matter what I think. The people watching this right now are the ones that are really going to give the verdict, and they've already said yes.
I'd rather people. You know, I'd so much rather that lots of people watch it and love it and enjoy it and escape into it and get something out of it and see themselves and the characters. But a tomato does look better than one of those green splodges, and I've had enough of those. Thank you.
Hey, you've had plenty of certified fresh too, sir. Don't I've seen The Punisher, also Westworld. Don't even.
Okay, all right.
All right, so let's do this one. Favorite scene that you got to shoot on the show? Granted, we got to keep it a little spoiler friendly, but maybe you can just set up where folks could look, what episode, what moment.
Okay, well, I will say that there are 8 episodes, and I will tell you that episodes 5 and 7 are my favorite episodes. I just think they are killer episodes. 5 is like a big turn the world upside down, and then 7 is got some sort of fun treats in it and has most of my favorite scenes in it.
Ooh, this is, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It was a real treat. I don't know, I know in the books the character of Mal is a little bit. People accuse him of being a little bit bland, but I think my pal Archie, who I'd worked with before on a different show, and he'd sort of played this adolescent teenager, sulky teenager in this other show that I did, and then just to see him grow into this like hero figure that I could then spar with, and I really sort of championed him. Since we'd worked together and, tried to give him a nudge along. And I just think he's such a powerful, raw talent. He's so good in this. And so the scenes with him, I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
And the scenes with Zoe Wanamaker, who plays Bagra. I loved every scene I had with her. And then obviously Jessie. Most of my stuff is with Jessie Maley, who plays Alina, who's just a sparkling grey of human sunshine. So she's well cast in that as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of energy coming between y'all, and I'm not just talking about the magic. I'll just leave it at that, and folks get to watch. This is actually one that came up a lot, and I hate to do it, but you started talking about Harry Potter, so this is actually 2 questions that are in there a ton. Okay. What is your Harry Potter house? But then another one is, who's your favorite character? And and I have a feeling if you don't say Sirius Black, the comment sections will burn.
Yeah, I do see a lot of this stuff about Sirius Black. People always say, do you know you're Sirius Black? And I say, Gary Oldman was Sirius.
Like, I saw it, yeah.
I saw it. So I don't quite understand. I think they're talking about a sort of like prequel thing. And I'm like, you'll know I'm almost 40, right? I mean, but I love, it's no secret that I am a sort of card carrying member of the Harry Potter fandom. I love the books and the films, and I've done all the what is it called? What is the fan site called?
Oh, Pottermore.
I've done all that, and I got a Gryffindor house, and my Patronus was a white stallion ? I think. Anyway. And so yes, I have done it and I have seen it, and I'm a big just fan of the genre. And actually, I on my Instagram today, I posted a poem that I wrote to say thank you to all my supporters, because I got a million followers. Aww. And so I poem to say thank you, and one of the lines was, "Now you may just be here to ask my Hogwarts house," because I'd never really said it, but people ask me all the time. But there you go. It is Gryffindor. Which I feel is maybe a bit predictable, but
I was gonna say I felt I own my Ravenclaw status, but I will say this: I was a Ravenclaw for forever, and then as a joke, I went back to like see if I got a different house, like a lot of people do. Like now that I'm older, and I got Slytherin, and I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm calculating. I can admit it. I'm not gonna like run away from it.
I feel like I'm a bit of a purist, as us Gryffindors are, and I think that you're only allowed to do it once, and whatever you get first, that's what you're sorted into, and them's be the rules.
Oh, look at you!
Sorry.
No, I was always Ravenclaw, but it was one of those things, you know, when friends get together and they're like, "Oh, I'll show you your part of our house," and I did it again, and I got Slytherin, and I was like, "How
I'll show
did
you
that
yours
happen?"
if you show me mine.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. All right. So most of these are literally just about Sirius Black. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take this off for now. If anybody has any other questions, please add it in there. I did also want to go ahead and ask you about what I ask everybody this on our series because we're doing this on IG Live. Normally, I'd be seeing you at a junket. What have you been watching? Because everyone's going to be watching you this weekend. You can watch yourself if you want, but I'm sure you've been watching other things.
I've seen it. So what have I been watching? I just finished season 4 of The Crown.
Yes.
And Olivia Colman and Tobias Menzies and Josh O'Connor and Emma Corrin are just all amazing in it. So that is just an amazing piece of TV. What am I watching? Oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes.
What's in the box?
Oh my God.
What's in the Wakandan box?
First of all, though, I want to know what your thoughts are on John Walker. We're just going to go a little off script here because, like, literally we have been like, this is the thing.
I'll let you in on a secret, which is that. So Carrie Scogland, who's directing every episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, directed every episode of a miniseries I did called Sons of Liberty, where I played Sam Adams.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And she actually messaged me saying she was doing Winter Soldier and that there might be a character for me in it. And I was just about to do Shadow and Bone, so I didn't even know what it might be. And I still don't know, really.
Do you think she wanted you to be John Walker with blonde hair?
I don't think I'm like that kind. I don't think I'm the right casting for that. Plus,
now I'm like going to look at it.
I also think he's kind of brilliant. He's so likable for 5 minutes, and then instantly you're just not on his side, which I know from firsthand how difficult it is to keep people on your side when you're playing an antagonist. And I think it's really important, like those things I talk about, hope and shades of grey, like to keep people, showing people your humanity and your vulnerability and all of that stuff, even when you're misbehaving. I think it's really kind of important. But so I'm now gonna just watch the entire series and figure out which role she wanted for you that like I could fantasy cast you for. I think she was just telling me she was making it probably, but well, now I'm gonna fantasy cast you in that one anyway. You've already done Marvel, so we're gonna assume you might do Marvel again, right? The last thing I'm gonna go ahead and ask you though, except can I play a good guy? If I do Marvel again, I need it to be a good guy.
No, let's get you the cape. Let's get you the cape to save the world.
Get me a cape and some big fake pecs in my costume, please. Thank you.
Don't tell anybody on this that you said that. They're gonna want to see the like Thor shirtless scene that we get in that one. They're gonna want that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say good luck. Nope. You'll see. You'll see. Before we get out of here, is there anything else that you wanted to sort of shout out or let folks know besides obviously April 23rd? That's this Friday or this Thursday at midnight for most of you watching to see Shadow and Bone.
In terms of what I'm watching?
Anything else you wanted to shout out, let folks know about besides to watch you this Friday night on or to watch you Friday on Shadow?
I see.
Yeah, anything you want to shout out?
I don't know. You mean in terms of, I don't know what I'm doing next. I've read a couple of quite tasty TV things recently, which I might hope to squeeze in before, if we got a second season, which if we're 92, hopefully that looks pretty good, doesn't it? 93, man.
Sorry. Yeah.
So that sounds pretty good. But honestly, we've all had a really strange year. So we've been working on strange things and new things. And I've been actually working on some music of my own, hopefully, which I'm gonna hopefully be able to share at some point.
That was actually one of the questions that I didn't want to ask it because I thought it'd be presumptuous you didn't. But you're working on new music. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, there's nothing really to tell other than I've often done lots of sort of musical covers, and music was my first passion really, and I felt like this year was a good opportunity to just. I think I've spent a lot of years having scenes written for me and being directed and edited and all of that, all of that stuff. And I wanted to put something just straight from me, straight into the world. And so hopefully, I'm still figuring it out. And
no, you have to do this now. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, no, I will absolutely do it because I saw this year is kind of highlighted, I think, for everyone, if not now, when. So hopefully soonish, I want to try and put some of my own, something from myself out into the world, something joyful.
I love that. Also, really quick, I really planned to sign off, but then you started talking about music. Since you're a musical person, what's the musical that you would want to star in, either stage or screen?
I always wanted to do Into the Woods, but then they made a film of it.
Yeah,
Nobody asked me.
Oh, I could have seen you as one of the princes doing Agony.
Yeah,
I could have seen that.
I always loved that one. But yeah, there are so many. There was, when I was a kid, I wanted to do Jesus Christ Superstar. I wanted to do Rent. I wanted to do, all of that stuff. I started off, when I was a teen, kind of doing like musical theatre stuff, but I haven't really gone back to it. Much since. All
right. Casting directors, producers, cast Ben Barnes in a musical. As a musical theater nerd myself, I want to see it.
Well, we really did nerd out, didn't we?
Oh, we didn't.
It's all right. We had Marvel balancing us out, so
we did. No, Ben, thank you so much. This has been such a joy. Congratulations on the show.
Thank you.
I enjoy it now because I think, like I said, this is about to be a big thing. I saw what happened after The Witcher. I'm seeing this for you, sir.
Good.
I'm seeing this for you.
Please all watch it.
Thank you again. And you have to click yourself out because I can't. So
no idea how to do that, but lots of love to you all.
Just close your app and it'll disappear.
Lots of love. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. All right. Okay, that was Ben Barnes. Thank you so much for watching. We very much appreciate it. Also, apologies to Angora Rice, who we missed yesterday. We went on a brief pause for social media, but we will have her back soon. So if you were tuning in for her yesterday, don't worry. We have rescheduled that one. And thank you again for watching. Everyone, please check out Shadow and Bone, April 23rd on Netflix. Bye.